Over the past few months, I've seen many challenges like these, where you try to do something as fast as possible in a series of video games. I think Chiz Plays started this idea, but I wanted to throw my own Pokemon twist on it. I set out to see, how fast can I beat the first gym leader in each generation of Pokemon? The first 7 generations were played in 2 times speed, and the first 6 generations will be in this episode. Let's go. So let's start with our Generation 1 representative, Pokemon Red. I decided that I'm starting the timer when I hit new game, so I changed the text speed to fast and turn off battle animations beforehand. By the way, do I know if this is faster or slower than Pokemon Yellow? No idea, but it's what I had downloaded. Since we're playing in 2 times speed, we're out of the intro and ready to go within 20 seconds.
A great success!
Shortly after, Professor Oak saves us from the grass, which is filled with vicious small rats and birds. Thank goodness he saved us from those normal wildlife creatures. There are some generations which have significantly less plot before Gym 1, and this is definitely one of them. Now it's time to pick a starter, as one must always do in a Pokemon game. For this speedrun of sorts, I guess you could call it, of beating the first gym leader, I choose everyone's favorite speedrun starter, Squirtle. I also want to take the time that I didn't do extensive research for any of these games. I looked up some basic strategies and maybe did a practice playthrough or two, but I'm not using any RNG manipulation strats for wild Pokemon or completely optimal movement to the pixel, you know? I'm able to beat my rival's Bulbasaur, and then we have to do Professor Oak's fetch quest. And like I mentioned, I'm not using any sort of fancy RNG manipulation, so sometimes I just run into wild Pokemon. This isn't meant to be how fast can you physically beat the first gym leader, and more so how fast could the average person beat the gym leader in each generation of Pokemon games. Next up is making our way through Viridian Forest. The first trainer isn't mandatory, but I face him anyways for the experience. His Pokemon are just stupid bugs, obviously, so we're in no danger. Facing the mandatory trainer at the end of the forest gives us just enough experience to get to level 9, and that's all we're going to need for Brock. Brock starts out with a level 12 Geodude. Bubble's only a 20 base power move, but I'm not worried at all. Brock's team is one of the worst constructed teams in Pokemon history. The Rock-type gym leader has not a single Rock-type move. 2 bubbles each destroy both the Buff Rock and the Rock Snake, and we get the easy win. Final time of 6 minutes and 20 seconds. On to Generation 2. The Generation 2 representative will be Pokemon Silver because, say it with me, that's the one I had on my computer. I mean, Nintendo Game Boy. Good save. Right off the bat again, the intro is super short, and we're moving around the world in 20 seconds. In Generation 2, we go right to the Pokemon Lab to select our starter, and once again we go with the Water Starter, who in this generation is Totodile. For Generation 2, Game Freak had an amazing idea. They said, what if we gave another fetch quest at the beginning of the game? But this time, let's make it even longer. This time we have to go past Cherry Grove City, and up north to Mr. Pokemon's house, where Professor Oak gives us the Pokedex. On our way back down, we run into our rival, ? We have to go fight Ice Spice and his Chikorita. He uses a growl early, and our scratches do like nothing because of that. We take turns slapping each other until I decide I should probably use a Leer. Once I do that, the fight goes much quicker. I probably should have used that Leer earlier, but whatever. We go back to the lab to realize our rival literally robbed the professor of a rare Pokemon, but whatever, again, not my problem. I just need to beat 1 gym leader. I fight a few trainers on my way up to Violet City, and I get to level 8. Once there, I heal up my Pokemon, and I head into the gym. The 2 trainers in this gym are mandatory, and this is actually not a Rock-type gym, it's a Flying-type gym. So the most consistent way to defeat the trainers at this level is actually using Rage. I have to risk a critical hit against the first trainer, but after healing up with a potion, the second trainer's a piece of cake. And wouldn't you know, I'm gonna use Rage again to defeat Faulkner. Not every day you see that strategy, huh? Since she leads off with a super weak level 7 Pidgey, we take almost no damage while powering up our Rage. By the time Pidgeotto comes out, it's just a 2-hit KO with Rage. Final time for this game, about 9 minutes and 7 seconds. I don't know if Pokemon Emerald is the fastest Gen 3 game, but once again it's the one that I had downloaded, so that's the one we're going to use. Very scientific processes that we do here on the Condor Games channel. Because we have to wait to be released from the prison that is the back of our moving truck, and we have to set our clock and all that garbage, this intro is a little bit longer. At about 1 minute and 20 seconds, we save Professor Elm from a rabid raccoon, and we choose our starter Pokemon, Mudkip. The water starters are pretty much always the best play. On the way up to May, bars, I only get into one wild battle which I immediately run away from. Facing Maze Trico is a little scary. We don't have to win technically, but the experience would definitely be very useful. I found that spamming tackle is usually just the best strategy here, and after 4 tackles we get the win with 8 HP to spare. Now going to Petalburg City, I decide to fight the first 2 trainers for some extra experience, but I make sure to stay away from the Spinner and her Shroomish. Unfortunately, when I get to Petalburg City, I have to do a long catching tutorial because my absent dad wants to pretend he's a part of my life. Whatever. Once I leave Petalburg City, I didn't mean to fight Last Cindy, but I get lucky and take her out with a crit before she can use the full restore on her Zigzagoon. I annihilate this poor bug catcher and then fight the Team Aqua cosplayer. Since I now know Water Gun, I don't even bother to heal before this fight because I know it's going to be an easy 2-shot. After this fight, if you want to call it that, I skip every remaining trainer before healing up at the Pokemon Center and going into the Rustboro City Gym. Despite having the type advantage, I do fight both trainers in the gym because Nosepass is a freaking tank. Roxanne's first Geodude goes down to the quad effective Water Gun, and obviously her second Geodude meets the same fate. Nosepass is what we're worried about though. Water Gun does about a third, and luckily it just goes for Harden. A second Water Gun takes it into yellow, while its Rock Tomb takes me down to 18 HP, and it heals back up with an Oran Berry. We don't outspeed now because of Rock Tomb, but we're just going to continue gutting water at her. Roxanne does get me down to 11 HP, but with a good range we're able to take down the Nosepass. Final time for this game, about 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Alright, so every generation has taken longer and longer to beat the first gym. Will Pokemon Platinum and Gen 4 break this cycle? If you've played Pokemon Platinum, you know it's probably going to take a while, but let's see for ourselves. In this game, we go through the intro as normal, but it's important to note that in every game so far, I've changed the text speed and battle animation settings in the main menu, and this is the first game in which you have to do it inside of the game, so that's going to count against our time. So the plot of this game is that our junkie friend tries to convince us to run through the grass without having any Pokemon. Professor Rowan stops us right before we enter the grass, and for some reason he decides to give these impulsive, thick-skulled children some rare Pokemon. In this game we finally don't pick the Water-type starter though, we're going to pick Chimchar. In the rival fight I could have used some strategy I guess, but I just said scratch do damage, scratch go burr. Luckily Piplup is very intent on growling, like a lot, so we get the pretty easy win. Now for a bunch more plot. We go up to the lake and we see a blue-haired cosplayer. Then we go to Sand Gem Town and I get a super long boring talk from Professor Rowan. Then Dawn shows us around the town as if I'm a Pokemon noob, but I stop into the Pokemon to buy a few potions. Then I go say goodbye to my mother while obtaining a town map. Then we walk back up to Sand Gem Town and we have to go through the catching tutorial with Dawn, and after all that, we can finally begin progressing. By the time we defeat the first trainer, we're more than 8 minutes in already, so this is definitely looking to be the longest game so far. We defeat all 3 trainers on the way to Jubilife City, where there is, guess what, way more plot. Let's go! I get lectured by this lonely police guy, we give our junkie friend the map he forgot at home, and I get all the coupons from the clown dudes. Well, I actually got 1, and then went to go defeat a trainer, and then got the final 2 coupons, and obtained the Pokewatch. Finally, we can go on and... I forgot about the other rival fight! We didn't heal, but we should have enough HP for this fight. We use Ember, and Starly just goes for Growl, which won't affect Ember's strength. It goes down to another Ember, so night-night Starly. Piplup is a little scarier, but we get a nice first turn burn. Piplup has a Water-type move, but it's just 20 base power Bubble. Even better though, Piplup never even uses it. Way to use that type advantage, bro. So we're finally on the trail to Oreburgh City, the location of the first gym, another Rock-type gym. Game Freak really does love that formula. I'm picking which trainers I want to skip and which trainers I want to fight to optimize my experience points. I beat 1 trainer on Route 204, and 1 in the Oreburgh Gate before popping out on the other side. From this point I heal my precious baby boy, and go into the cave to retrieve the gym leader to do his frickin' job. I face 1 more trainer in here for some extra XP, before Indiana Jonesing my way out. Now you may be wondering why I chose Chimchar. After all, this is a Rock-type gym, and I chose the 1 elemental starter that doesn't have a type advantage. Actually, defensively it has a type disadvantage to Rock. But after defeating 1 last trainer in the gym, Chimchar levels up to level 14, evolves into Monferno, and learns Mach Punch, a super effective move against Rock. The other two starters don't evolve until later levels, and only Turtwig gets a decent elemental move, Razor Leaf, at level 13, so I think Monferno is the right play. Roark leads with the Geodude, as is customary with Rock-type gym leaders, and obviously Geodude sucks. It goes down in 2 Mach Punches. The Rock Snake is next, and it looks like it's going to be a 3-shot, until Monferno gets a clutch critical hit to take it out in 2. Finally comes out Cranidos. Monferno outspeeds, goes for Mach Punch, but Cranidos barely survives. Cranidos doesn't have a rock move, but it does have Headbutt, and look at its head. I would not want to take a Headbutt from that thing. Headbutt hits, and leaves Monferno with 5 HP. Roark tries to heal, but to no avail. Monferno gets the win. Final time for this game, a brutal 17 minutes and 50 seconds. Is it just going to continue to get even longer? Let's make our way to Generation 5 and Pokemon Black to be exact, because this video is already getting pretty long. Anyways, the legendary story of our protagonist A continues. As a nice little change of pace, we get to select our starter pretty much right away. We go with Snivy, and you might be surprised, but you're going to see the vision soon. As a less nice change of pace, we have to fight our rival battles against both Blue Hair Guy and Beret Girl. Bianca's Oshawott is taken down in a few tackles, and then Charon's Tepig is also taken out with just 3 tackles. Our rivals just gotta learn that offense is the best way to win. Those Leers are not doing crap to me. So, as any preteen does, we run away from our home with our pet who engages in constant combat, while also leaving our room in a barely inhabitable state for our mother to clean up. Just reminds you of childhood, right? Who wants to learn how to catch a Pokemon? What? You already know how to? Shut up, no you don't. Come on, watch this Patrat get caught. I make it through the first route in 20 seconds, and my 2 lying friends, rivals, whatever these pillows at Game Freak want to call them, are bragging about the fact that they've already caught another Pokemon. That's just lies. When we get to Accumula Town, we have to sit through Ghetsis' propaganda speech. Low-key, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu might be the best game in the series. It actually might even be the best game of all time. Also, we should fight for Pokemon marriage. I want to marry my Hydreigon. Imagine what all those mouths do. Okay, time for me to leave. Bird formation, go! And then we have to have a battle with N. Yep, that's his full name. A single letter. His Purloin is level 7, but after a few Leers and a few tackles, I'm able to take it down. I go to the next route and I start running back and forth in the grass. That doesn't seem very time efficient now, does it? What am I doing? Well, I'm catching myself a puppy. Pokemon Black and White have an interesting gimmick that makes the first gym leader have the Elemental Monkey that counters your starter. So since we picked Snivy, we would have to go against a Pansear. I get lucky and I get a Lillipup on the first encounter, even though I think it's only a 40% chance. It being at level 6 is pretty nice too. This Lillipup is going to be the Pokemon that we solo the first gym with. I focus on getting Lillipup a few levels while making my way to the first gym. At level 8, Lillipup learns Bite, which is super strong for this point in the game. With our biting puppy by our side, we're easily able to take down Bianca and her Oshawott. I'm sounding more and more like Michael Vick now, huh? In the trainer's school, Charon goes down pretty easily, where in that battle would have been pretty tough if we had Snivy because Charon chose the starter with the type advantage. With Charon also defeated, we can actually already head into the gym. For a more recent Pokemon game, we're making pretty good time right now. Unfortunately, every trainer is mandatory in this gym, but we make it to the fire leader, Chili, at about 11 minutes and 45 seconds. Let's do this. This battle starts out as an honor match between level 12 Lillipups. Due to my EVs, my Lillipup is faster, which gives me a huge advantage. Bite has a chance to flinch the opponent if it's used first, and we get 2 straight flinches on Chili's Lillipup. It uses a potion, but goes down pretty easily. Pansear is last, but its Incinerate is not too dangerous against our Lillipup. I had a potion in my backpack in case we got into a close call, but it wasn't needed. We get the gym badge after 12 minutes and 25 seconds. Alright, nice. We breezed through Gen 5, let's go on to Gen 6. This is where Game Freak really strays from having the title from being color related in any way. Like Gen 3, Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire, those are distinct colors. Even Pearl, Platinum, those make me think of specific colors. But what color is X? Anyways, Pokemon X is the title that we're going to be going with for Gen 6. This game starts out with the riveting process of getting dressed. Man, I love video games. So realistic, so entertaining. Our protagonist, ! Is setting out to become a Pokemon master. Well, I guess he actually only really cares about the first gym. Our friends give us the super cool, not cringy nickname of Little ! And I select Chespin as my starter. Shauna and her Froakie want to be my first opponent, and for the first time, our starter has an elemental move at level 5. I didn't realize this, so I accidentally hit Tackle on turn 1, but after a few more Vine Whips, I take down Defrog. We run back home, get a map from our mom, and we're ready to go. Oh my god, never mind, the Rhyhorn's gonna kill us. Oh, never mind, we're good. Anyways, I go a few steps in Route 2, and yay, another catching tutorial, woohoo! I don't care about catching Pokemon, I just want to kill them. Oh wait, I actually am catching a Pokemon for this game. Oops. So after the catching tutorial, I run around the grass for literally a minute until I finally run into a Bunnelby. Remember, these are not optimized playthroughs. It's really a showing of how long it would take the average player to beat the first gym in an average playthrough. So I just immediately throw a Pokeball, I get the 1, 2, 3 wiggles, and at least I catch it on my first try. So I call my Bunnelby and have to face a mandatory trainer. Why am I still using Chespin for the trainer battles? Well, because I'm not using Bunnelby for the gym. Pokemon X is an in-game trade in Santaloon City, the home of the first gym leader. No matter the level of your Bunnelby, this NPC will trade you Quacklin, a level 10 Farfetch'd, for a Bunnelby. I don't know why it's such a high level, but we'll roll with it. I forgot to switch Quacklin to the front of my party for the first fight, but I just switch it in, so it's fine. And just like that, we're in the gym too. The puzzle here is super easy, and we only have one mandatory trainer. Aerialace destroys both her Pokemon, and gets Quacklin to level 11 for the gym leader. And will this bug-type gym leader be a problem for Quacklin? It's doubtful. Surskit leads off and does an impressive 4 damage before immediately fainting. Her Vivillon is bulky, and the chip damage of Infestation does put us in the yellow, but I wasn't really in any danger. Quacklin gets the easy win, and we finish Pokemon X with an impressive time of 10 minutes and 28 seconds. And so that's the first gym leader in Generations 1 through 6. And here are the standings so far. Part 2 will probably be out within a week, but who knows, I'm a lazy editor, and despite my current unemployed status, I still don't have a lot of time on my hands. So like the video and stuff, and it will make me more motivated to make a part 2 for Generations 7 through 9. Spoiler alert, I know they're all really frickin' long. Bye bye!